Okay, today we're going to be working on the band saw. Last Friday we talked about and gave the demonstration on the skill saw or the scroll saw. So, when I'm done here, some of you will be able to work here, some of you will be able to work there, and then I have another job for my fearful guys that'll kind of help facilitate keeping everybody in line or in a progress here. First of all, anytime you're working on a power tool, make sure the power is taken off. Okay? If you have a battery powered unit, take the batteries off. Okay? Anytime you're going to be changing the blades, doing any type of adjustments whatsoever. So make sure that the power is shut off. Okay? On the band saw, they've got a new guard on here that came in about 10 years ago. Prior to that, this guard was not here and this blade was wide open. Okay? And when it broke, a lot of the times it would shoot out that way. How many of you here have run into a barbed wire fence? Raise your hand. Did you enjoy it? No.
I'm glad it's caught in the cargo short, like cargo pocket.
Yeah. Okay? I'm going to tell you something. If you run into a barbed wire fence, you will know it right quick. Okay? This bandsaw blade, when it breaks, if it shoots out, you're going to be saying that that barbed wire fence was nothing compared to this thing getting a hold of you. Because when it comes out, it's going to come out in a straight line, just like a snake shooting out.
Like a rattlesnake.
Okay? And when it hits you, it's going to bend down and wrap around you. I don't know how or why, but it does. Okay? And then, for some weird reason, it wants to unwind. It doesn't want to just wrap up and stay there. It wants to come back and unwind. And when it unwinds off of you, that's when you notice that there's a lot of pain coming because the barbs, the teeth off of this thing, will pull some flesh off. So, with that in mind, anything in this direction coming off of a bandsaw is no man's zone. That's why I usually put it up against here, fairly close to this wall so that, if something would happen, you hit this wall and just drop. Okay, it's not going to wrap around anybody. So, if somebody's on the bandsaw, you walk around the back side of them. Okay? You do not walk through here. Okay? Just kind of like with a BB gun. I don't know why. BB guns always shoot the eyeballs. You could aim over here and it's going to hit somebody in the eye over here. Somehow. It always does that. It seems like it anyway.
I've hit the leg before.
Yeah. Okay.
Ricochet.
On a bandsaw, the height of this guard should be at such a height that you cannot get your fingers underneath it. Okay? And according to the books, anywhere from 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch above the wood. And when you put it in there, if it's 1/8 of an inch, you're not going to be able to get your fingers in there. Now, if you really honestly want to push the issue, you can stick your finger in straight in, and it doesn't matter how high off of the board you're going to have, you can cut your fingers if you just go straight in with it. Okay? But off to the side, coming down the side, it's going to hit the guide block before you get any fingers into the blade. As long as this is no more than 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch above your wood. These little thumb screws here on the side, don't mess with them, because they are what holds all of this stuff in alignment. Right now, I've got an 1/8 inch blade in here, which means you can make some pretty good cuts on it, pretty good turns. The wider the blade, the wider the arc, or the wider your turn's going to be. Okay? So, what I've got here is a template. Okay? Back side of it is the straight edge, the front side of it is the curve that we want to use. So, if you have not gotten onto the technique of drawing a straight line, by using your finger to draw a straight line. You can simply lay this on here, lay your template on, and draw a straight line using it. And turn it over and go put it on the edge here and trace this curve. Now you probably have, my marker is getting a little bit used here, so you may have to go over it a couple times to get it to mark a nice deep dark line. Okay. Now we've talked about product and drop. This part right in here is going to be your product. This part outside here is going to be your drop. This part outside here is going to be your drop. So this center part is what you're going to want to keep. On the scroll saw, you cut right on the line. On a band saw, you cut right next to the line. So you always want to cut on the drop side. So this line that's right in here, when you're done, I should see it on the product side. If you cut it off, then you've cut too much off, especially on the curve side. If you cut into that line, you can't add it back on. We can't glue on wood, okay, especially on this plywood. So what you want to do is we want to cut on the drop side of the line, okay? So we've got this set, correct height. We don't need to deal with any of the adjustments for this class. We'll try to keep it as simple as we can. Make sure it's plugged in. Again, nobody's walking in this area. The on-off button over here, the green on, is a hard push. I've had a lot of people come over and say, I can't get it turned on. It's just a matter of pushing in really hard. Now, I like to cut with my left hand on the table. Some people like to cut with their right hand on the table. I don't really care. Whatever works best for you. So, I'm going to cut right next to that line. Don't have to cut fast. Speed is not part of the issue here. But getting it right next to the blade, or right next to the line, right where we want. Okay, you can see here I'm right next to the line. Now I got a little close right here. I actually cut into the line there. But I've got a black line all the way through, and that's what we want. We want to keep that. Now I'm going to move over to the curve side. When you're cutting on a band saw on a curve, you never want to go up and then turn. You always want to have a forward motion as you're turning, working around. You never want to stop and just turn it, because what's going to happen is that saw curve that you're in is going to twist the blade, and that will break the blade. So you always want to have a forward motion. You also, with a band saw, you never want to back up. There's a bearing here on the back side which keeps the blade from going too far back. There's nothing on the front side that keeps it from coming forward, because that's where your teeth is. I mean, you can't have a bearing up here on the front, and then just wear your teeth off. Okay? So never want to back up, and never want to turn without pushing forward. Okay? Okay, this is my drop. No, this is my drop side. Okay. This is my drop side, so I want to keep my line on the product side. Again, if you're going to make a mistake, make it on the drop side, because you can always come back and sand or cut it off. And when you're doing a curve, you always want to push forward. You don't want to stand back away from the machine. You want to stand right up next to it so that your feet is well balanced. Here's my product side. I got a little close right in through here, but the rest of it, you know, like this part right here and here, that can be sanded off. Okay? We can't add on anything. Like right here, I'm very close. Right here, I actually cut the line off. Okay? I want to see the black line all the way through. Okay? Any questions? Okay, you can shut that off.